Hello guys, we are back with our next lecture. In this lecture, let us continue with the next topic. Okay, so the topic is input output management, guys. So basically, how input is given and output is managed by our processor is what we'll be learning in this lecture, guys. Okay, so let us start. As we know, the next most important component after CPU and memory. So till now we discussed about how memory works, right? Yes. So after CPU and memory, which is the most important part for our computer, guys? So if you want to give an input, you need input. If you want to see the output, you need output, right? So those both are also really important. So that is the reason why we need the input output management should also be proper. Okay, input output, as without input and output the computer cannot serve anything, right? Yes. So we cannot directly connect input output devices to a computer. We need a concept of interface, guys. Okay, so for easy understanding I'll be giving you a small example. Okay, so basically what is a processor, guys? So processor is a chip which was designed by a company. So the chip might be designed by Intel, AMD, Apple, or any company might design that chip. Okay, so that chip will be able to read, to do operations, right? So simply it will have some data set and it will do the operations which are known to it, right? Yes. Okay, when you design a particular component, like it might be keyboard, it might be printer, it might be magnetic disk, it might be anything you want to connect it to your PC. Okay, so your whose responsibility is it, guys? Is it the processor designer responsibility to understand what this keyboard will say and to analyze it, or the developer of this keyboard should create something so that these both guys can communicate without any issue? So it is this guy thing, right? Yes. So this keyboard guy will create a small item called as interface, guys. So with the help of this interface only, the processor can understand what exactly this keyboard is saying. So assume this interface as a translator. This is your prime minister or someone who knows only one language. Just for example I'm saying, guys. Okay, so who knows only one language. So assume that he is speaking English and you don't know English. So at that time you will bring an English translator. So you will say in your language, he will translate it to English and he will do the process. So that is nothing but the interface, guys. Okay, yes. Okay, so now you are getting an idea, right? So interface is the mediator between them. Okay, yes. And whenever we are having lines, we are having three different controls, guys. So these are called as a control lines. Okay, so data, address and control. So those are the three different lines in simple words, you can say. Okay, yes. So few of you might be having a question like, why do we exactly need this interface? So I already told you, but anyway let us revise with respect to the theoretical part. So the first reason is with respect to speed, guys. Okay, so if you ask which device is fast, guys, CPU or your keyboard, obviously CPU will be faster, right? Yes. So that is the reason why this interface will inform CPU, do not waste your time, just to give me few seconds, you will do this work, you can leave. So in that way it is going to say that whatever it wants. Okay, so the speed of CPU and the device will be usually be different. Okay, similarly formats, so the data coding or any kind of ASCII format or Unicode format which is followed by your keyboard developer and the CPU and the processor might be different. So those things will also be translated by our interface. Similarly physical orientation. Okay, so you might be connecting a pen drive. Okay, so I think this is USB 2.0, right? 2.0 or 3.0. So it is 2.0 only. So that you will be connecting, right? So for any device you buy, the same port will be coming. So if you in your laptop, in a particular port, if you place pen drive, it will be read as pen drive. If you connect your phone, it will be treated as your phone. If you connect external display, it will be treated as a display. So it is recognizing things, right? So based on the item, it is going to recognize. So it is going to have an interface that it will say, guys, like I am a keyboard, so treat me as a keyboard. So in that way it is going to introduce itself. Okay, yes. Moving on to signal conversions. So basically your CPU might accept some other type of signal, the keyboard might give some signal. So those conversions will also be taken care by our signal conversions. Okay, yes. Okay. Okay, so now moving on to the buses or the control lines which I told. So this is a data bus, control bus and address bus. Okay, so what exactly is address bus, guys? These things are really easy. So whenever you want to, okay, so assume that you are in search of a particular device. So that particular device's address is 011011. So assume in that way. So one more device is there, 00. So now you are searching for a particular device called 10. So at that time in this address line you will pass 10, means indirectly that guy will be active. So in that way it will work, guys. Is used to identify the correct input device among the number of IO devices for that address bus. Similarly, control bus. So what to do? So it might be read operation, it might be write operation. So these operations will be passed in this control bus. So after selecting a specific input output device, CPU sends a function code on the control line. So basically it is nothing but to do any kind of operation. So it might be read, write, or any other operation. Okay, yes. Moving on, the last line is a data bus. So when you want to send a data, so you will be using this data bus. So in the final step, depending on the operation, either CPU will put the data on the bus and device will store it or display it, vice versa. So basically if your device is an input device, so you will be entering the keys, right? So that is going to be going as an input to the device. So if it is a display device, so from here you will be getting the output. So in that way, based on the requirement, that data line will work. Got it? Yes. So now I hope everyone got a clear idea with respect to this, right? Yes. Okay, so based on different connections, there are 3 ways of arranging CPU and IO devices, guys. Okay, so in the next lecture we will be discussing about the first type, that is memory mapped IO, guys. Okay, so we'll be discussing about that in the next lecture. So let us meet in the next lecture. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Like, share and subscribe for more awesome videos like this. Thank you.